with people. I want you to stress the importance of these kids because they never listen to me. So maybe they'll listen to you.
It's something that I don't think you really can grasp until you are in it and seeing how things come out of being professional, dressing, you know, in a way that makes you look respectable, being prepared when you go into, like, talk to somebody about something, know what the company is, you know, learn about these people before you get there, have paper, pencil, everything, just be prepared for everything, be more prepared than you think they expect you to, because you want to impress these people because there's somebody right behind you who's going to do the same thing you do, you know, so you kind of want to be, you know, a step ahead of everybody. And that actually has, we always say this, you can be talented and you can, I mean, people say, oh, you're lucky, you're lucky, you're lucky. There's nothing that's lucky that gets handed to you. You work and it completely correlates with how successful you are, you know, and I think that's something you learn, you know, like I want to be a movie star, you know, I hope somebody discovers me on YouTube, okay, that rarely happens, but people who are like really big and they're up there and they're making movies and stuff, they worked very hard to get there, you know, so it is people skills, working hard, and talent if you have it, you know, that's just a plus, you know, it's everything everything else stands out to people first.
Brian Herzlinger, he's a director, he came to the school once to speak, and he said his word of advice was perseverance, 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 and talent. Because he, like, I don't remember his story, but like he kept...
but he persevered.
It was really long, but he had talent, but his talent wasn't what was getting him to where he needed to be. It was his perseverance to keep doing what he wanted to do to actually get to it. And to go back to the question a little bit, like I have a hard time doing this because, like, I'm very technical with, like, the cameras and everything, and I can say something that is, like, brilliant, but I have to say it in a way that our clients are going to understand.
Yeah.
Because I can't say, like, well, see if we drop the aperture.
Yeah.
Like, a lot. It's going to look really good. They're not going to know it. I mean, you need to communicate.
And you need to relate to them. Get on, you know, their level. Not higher or lower. You need to get to where they are, their mindset, what they're thinking, and stuff like that. So, yes, that is very important. Probably the most important part of, you know, making... What was the word?
Money.
Well, yeah, money, making money, but also networking.
Yeah.
You know, that's the most important thing. Talent is just something.
Yeah, and a good word of advice is not to build. What is it? Not to build networks, build friends.
Yeah. Don't just like collect clients. You know, don't just collect people that you kind of put in your on your list of references, and you just don't talk to them until you need a letter of recommendation. Don't talk to them unless they know, you find out they know somebody that you want to know, you know. Because
you never know where the next job is going to come from, or the next person that you know that knows someone you need to know.
Yeah.
For example, we did a small documentary. This was when I was in school before I started working with Cinnamon. We did a small promotional video for the airport, the DuBois airport, and like I kept in pretty good contact with Bob Schaefer, the airport manager up there, and we were filming an action scene for our feature film project, and we wanted to blow up a car and flip it. And it just so happens that we were taking Bob the DVD of his project, and we were telling him about our project, just casually talking, and he was like, "You guys know that movie Unstoppable? The train movie?
Denzel Washington?
That was filmed. Parts of it was up here." The guy that had to sign in PA to sign all the explosives for all the trains, Bob knew. So we were like, tell us more. So he got us in contact and we made a meeting with him and everything. So it's like the airport manager knew the guy who had like access to explosives and writing off stuff for us.
And it's a small world, you know.
Going that fast too.
Yeah, so...
I'm curious about something. We were just talking about this in shop last week. I think I remember telling one of you guys, I was doing this for what you're doing. I did this for 25 years before I taught. And in all of that time, I can honestly say I've never got a client from an advertisement that I placed in my company.
Spent
a ton of money, but everything. This is how I ended up at Jeff Tech. They were one of my clients before.
Yeah.
Every single bit of business that I ever had over 2 decades was one led to the other. Talk about that a little bit. What's your experience in that?
Especially wedding videos.
Yeah.
When you do one good wedding video, they show all their friends,
Yeah, people don't. I'm going to use the wedding example. People don't look online right away. They talk to somebody who just got married or something like that, you know. And today, how we were doing the interview, and we were just talking to the guy, sitting down with them. He's like, "Oh yeah, well actually we're looking for some things, and like our video people are looking for other people to like collaborate and things like that." And he didn't look online, and he probably wasn't going to even really actively look anywhere, but since we were there and we were talking to them, then he thought of it, you know. Yeah. And I don't know if we have gotten anything from written website or Facebook things. It's just been like one thing after another, because people trust their friends and their coworkers a lot more than they trust a piece of paper that says you're the best, you know. So that's why we say to build, relationships and friends instead of just, a list of clients.
And I'll give you a case in point, too. How many times did we hear this morning, guys, "Oh, was this the crew that was out on Saturday?" Right? How many times did you guys hear that this morning? How many people noticed us on Saturday outside in downtown DuBois? And one of the things, I think it was Jackie said, that she hung out in one of the stores and was talking with the merchants about the kids from Jeff Tech. And she said they were just glowing about how professional you guys were and how cool it is, and we didn't know that there was a program like that in this area. Now, what these guys are telling you is these are the doors that have been opened for you in the real world to go back and knock on. You don't know if Merle Norman, who was impressed with what you did, needed a television commercial, or if Stu's Brews needs help with their website. But guaranteed, the next time you walk in there, you befriend them, you patronize them, you buy a cup of coffee from them, you drop a business card, and you say, "Hey," right? I was the kid that was in here last year, and I've graduated. I'm looking for some work. What might we be able to work together on? They're going to remember these things. They're going to remember that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and don't think people will find you. Like, once you graduate, there isn't a magic list that your name gets put on that employers start calling.
Yep.
And also you have to people that want video. Like, they want video, but they don't really know how to get it. So they're just like...
Yeah, a lot of people we've talked to don't know really the process of it, I mean, that's not something everybody knows, how to make videos, where to go to, So you really have to put yourself out there and tell them what you can do and be like, you might want this, like, give them everything.
Yeah, that's with the John Roaster Moving Baking program. Russ and John, they both used to do really big commercial work with, what are some of them? I don't remember.
Like amusement parks and
stuff
like that. And like Coca-Cola, I think, some things. In that vicinity
and
of...
City Beer.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they did Icy Light. Okay.
Yeah, they have a lot of stories also, and they give a lot of helpful advice. Like, we've had meetings with them, and we've sat down and had lunch, like, "Hey, what do you think we should do with this?" Or like, "What do you think? Where do you think this is gonna go?"
So that's just another thing. If you feel enticed by anything that we're saying or anything, John and Russ are actually around all the time. And if you guys wanted to go in or set something up, I know that they would definitely want to talk to you.
And even this was after we graduated, we did a music video of a band, and Russ really liked the music video and the band. And he knew Ed Traviseri, who was... He was a promoter for music, and I think like Bob Marley. He was there for Bob Marley in his last performance, and like the Rolling Stones. He was there. I mean, it's like a really big name in the industry. And this was after we graduated. He set up a meeting with us, Ed, him, and the band, and it was really helpful for us.
Yeah, and it's like, so we built relationships with the band because we built relationships with Russ, who trusted us and taught us, and so he made us look great with the band, and the band was friends with us, and now they have a new album coming out, and they want to use us for video, possibly, you know? So, yeah,
One
just
thing
keep your eyes open.
Another thing I want you guys to comment on, we hear a lot of times, especially with a comprehensive program like what we have, it's web, multimedia, information resource design, so we teach everything, and at a deep level, from graphics, audio, video production, streaming live events, the whole thing, audio. A lot of times a kid will come there and they'll say, I'm only interested in this.
Yeah.
And we're trying to get them to understand that the more valuable, the more skills that they have, the more valuable that they're going to be to the potential employer, whether it's an employer to get a JOB or working with independent clients the way you guys are. Talk to me a little bit and address the kids about the importance of a well-rounded skill set in your field.
First of all, it is just very convenient for us that we learned from DBC, and we learned editing, pre-production, filming, everything, audio, everything. It actually has been very beneficial for us because we don't have to hire a separate person to edit. You know, if we hire somebody for audio or anything on a bigger project, that's just separate. You know, we don't have to have somebody all the time that we're paying to edit stuff when the money could just be going to us. We could just keep everything. So from a business aspect, it's been really beneficial financially. But
and if they want a website or whatever outlet, also, if they get a website or something made from a different company, and then you do like their videos, and then someone else is, I don't know, taking pictures with like stock photography for them, and then you have these 3 different companies doing 3 different things, and then some people are slower on some things, and like a lot of things that we found, clients just like to hand stuff over and just get it. They
don't want to touch the video technical stuff. They don't want to do that. They just
want to have it get done, and they would look for that. Like if someone can be like, yeah, I can do all of this, or you can hire 3 different people to do this. Like they're going to choose the person who can do the one
thing.
Somebody
is going to be able to do all of it. So if you can just do one little piece,
your chances aren't that good.
Your chances are a lot better when you can do everything.
Yeah.
Like I said, you should want to do more. You want to be more impressive than you think that they want. You want to go in and they say, well, we just want video, and you're like, hey, but we do photography too. And they're like, oh my, yeah, well, how much does that cost? We'll do that. We can do that too. You know, stuff that they don't even think about that you can present, and then you get them thinking, and they are impressed with you, and then you just get more experience.
And everyone's sitting in a big circle impressed.
Yeah, yeah.
And the money's just flying everywhere.
I'm going to talk a little bit about that too, because we are a business school, and a lot of times people don't really relate art, such as filmmaking or graphic design, with the business school. But I think it's a perfect marriage, along with a lot of people who work in those industries, because Ben and Cinnamon are a great example of artists who have taken what they love and made a business out of it. And while Ben and Cinnamon were at the college, they had classes like English, so they knew how to properly speak, and they learned grammar. And because can you imagine if they sent off some kind of letter to a potential client that has incorrect grammar usage and punctuation and things like that? They're not going to get business. So English is important to their business. They had accounting. That's a basic bookkeeping class. Most artists would never ever sign up for such a thing, but we force that. And a lot of times our graphic design students and our film students don't really appreciate that until they are in a situation where they're out on their own. You know, if you're going to own your own business, you need to understand business, basic accounting, because if you hire that out, those people could rip you off, okay? So those are just some examples of the classes that Ben and Cinnamon had. Speech class, I think, did you have a marketing class? Maybe?
That went in with the program. We did marketing and everything first.
Within
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, they had classes. It's not just all about learning how to use the the camera and scripting and all of that, because all of those skills, your English classes that you have, your math classes, they have to understand math because they write budgets.
Yeah.
Okay? You know, even your science and your history class, they don't know. They may someday, you know, be doing a project that involves having to research some historical facts and things like that. So.
Yeah, and you know, like, one thing I just thought of is that Ben and I, first starting out, it was hard, and you guys might even be starting off even sooner because you guys are getting prepared now. You guys are young, and, you know, a lot of people that we're working with are a lot older than us, and we have to, like, overly prepare, dress a little bit nicer. We have to do extra to prove to them that we're not just young kids. You know, we're professional, and they can trust us, and we can be, you know, the people that they can count on. So that's just another reason why you want to just have a leg up against everybody. Because why, if there's a young kid standing here and this, you know, person dressed up and they're older and they look more experienced, why would they choose you? You know? So you have to give them a reason to, you know? And you definitely can. I mean, I think that word of mouth, like, people haven't had a problem with us afterwards. No one's, in the beginning, people were like, how old are you guys? You know? They don't do that anymore, you know? But yeah.
And I need you to know that Ben and Cinnamon didn't know they were coming here today, so they didn't come in dressed for a presentation skill. Yeah. They happened to be out and about and stopped in, and Jackie said, hey, why don't you go to lunch with this gang so that they can ask you questions and things like that. So, you know, they were prepared for that. But I did have another question, and it was about your clients. Have you run into this yet with your business? You have a client and they want one specific thing, but you think it could be something better or different, and they don't want any part of that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So how do you handle that? Because you're an artist, and I think sometimes artists, they can visualize and see this project, but then the client doesn't want that. Mm-hmm. So how can you talk about that a little bit? Or
one thing is to have things on hand that if they can't picture it with you, you know, you can show them. But the bottom line is that you want your clients to be happy, you know. And most of the clients we've had have been just, all right, yeah, do it. But some of them are very specific, and it's not a bad thing, and actually it makes your job easier because they tell you exactly what to do. But your clients need to be happy, and if, you know, that goes back to word of mouth. If your clients aren't happy, they're not going to say anything to anybody else, or, you know, heaven forbid, they say bad things about you. But if you make them happy, you know, you don't have to go around and show everybody the project that you didn't really, you know, like the best, but they are going to be happy, and they're going to tell their people, and, you know, maybe the next person is going to tell you can do whatever you want or something.
Sometimes, well, that's only happened to us occasionally when someone's very specific on what they want. And it's like fairly different from what we were thinking originally. But sometimes it is fun to, this is what they want, so let's make it the best that it can be. Let's make it cool, creative and interesting.
That is really fun.
I'm just really glad. That's a really good question, because that's something that we face a lot in class, where the kids, they want to work on something particular that they enjoy, that they like. I don't find this topic interesting. Well, you know what? It is April 28th, and rent is due in 2 days, and you're $400 short, and you got a line on the TV commercial that you can make by Monday morning and make that $400 bucks. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
You're just going to, I'm not going to pay the rent because I don't want to make a car dealership commercial.
Yeah.
I don't find it interesting or fun. Well, you know what? Sometimes you do got to do what you got to do and check your ego. I'm not saying that you sell out, but there are real ramifications to letting your ego get in the way of doing business. And you don't know, like you said, you don't know if that car dealer, if his son is some big rock star and they like what you did, and then you end up getting a gig out of that. So you can't go into business day to day, kids, closed-minded and egocentric and self-centered. You got to meet, look, there's an old saying that says, customer's always right. That's not true. They're not always right, but it's not your place to tell them that. It's your place to make them happy.
Yeah.
You know?
I know one guy who was like, he didn't want to do wedding videos, and he didn't really want to do like small stuff or PA work. He doesn't do film anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
But also,
if you cut off too many options, you don't have anything left
Yeah.
to do. So you choose a different profession.
Yeah.
But also, like, do you guys know the band Guar?
Sure.
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
I like war.
I'd safe bet my wife doesn't know who Guar is.
I bet you
Why not? Teach her. Let us teach
the
her.
drummer to our class was like you said, you don't know if like a car dealership person's like son is in a rock band. The one guy who works at the postal office, his son's the drummer in there. So like you never.
And
Yeah.
then, he came to your class.
Yeah, he came to our class.
Yeah.
There you go.
Because John knows his son.
Did you guys get tickets?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and they gave him free tickets to.
Guar.
Yeah.
Lucky.
So.
No, there's no such thing as luck. That's their whole point,
Yeah.
guys. It's all about people, and it's all about connectivity. It's all about connections, keeping your mind open to possibilities. It's not luck.
Yeah.
I mean,
You know?
it's lucky they got free tickets to the stream.
But it wasn't. It wasn't luck. That's my point. Absolutely. Do we have any questions, guys? Do we have any questions for these? I'll tell you guys what. I know we need to get. He has another bus run, so we need to get back. I'd love to have you guys come in to our studio sometime and sit down and do a
yeah.
formal interview with you guys. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Maybe bring some samples of your work. So, Lisa, if you would put us in touch. Okay, let's.